Hi, this is Kira from Creative Photography Classes or Shooting Magic with Kira and Cheryl. And today I want to show you quickly how to work with our Kira Special Magic actions. This is to create these fairy tale magical effects that everybody is asking how I do it. Okay, so it can be done with a couple of ways, with the actions or with our beautiful overlays and textures. Okay, so have a look here. We have Kira Special Magic actions, and we have gold, silver, bronze, pink, purple, blue, and green varieties for you. These actions took quite a bit of time to create, and they will give you a few effects after running. Please be patient with your software. It's complicated actions and it will take time to run each action, so be patient and waiting. Now, effects will largely depend on how big is your file, and I'll show you actually how on the same file, if you decrease the size of your file, the action effect will look quite differently, which it's good to know for you. Okay, so I just want to show you same actions but on a couple of different images, so you can see what can be done and what happens with the lighter backgrounds or darker backgrounds. Let's take the image you already saw with our previous pack of actions, which is a lot of watercolors and a lot of bohem blur here and light effects. So to increase the magic of this photo is not too big, so I resized it because I wanted the effects to be a little larger. Okay, so what I'll do, I run Kira Special Gold action. Okay, the action run, and for now we ignore the help. You can read it at home. So just click continue because I just want to show you how it works. The action run, and it put your action Kira Special Gold on the separate layer. Okay, actually you can see it's a folder, and you can see also effect being applied. You might not notice it straight away, but if I go before, just watch the image, and after, you can see beautiful speckles of light. Actually, what's beautiful about this action, every time they run, they give you a little bit of different effects. So a little unpredictable. How magic is unpredictable, is it? So again, before and after, and you can see the big blurs of lights. Now, if the image would be bigger, then you will see a lot more sparkly bits around, but I purposely made the image smaller so the action effect become bigger. Now, if you want to increase effect, here it's not too noticeable, okay, because of enough already gold and glow overall, so you can always right click on the layer, duplicate the group, and the effect will become stronger. Just watch it. So you can see, like, watch for example on his hand, and I will put before and after. You can see it's much more sparkle. This the effect when I don't want a lot of sparkles everywhere. Okay, I just want to create the magical sparkles in some places, and I can also move the layer. So if I grab the move tool, have a look, and watch this sparkle here, you can see I can move the sparkles around. So I am moving this layer right now because layer is selected, moving tool selected, and I can now put my sparkles where I want them. Okay, like that. And I can also, okay, Control T, which will give me tool, okay, free transform, and I can change the size of the sparkles, make them bigger, okay, or smaller. Okay, so if I now show you what's inside the folder here, okay, so we just open it a little bit. as usual, if you open the folder, you can also click deselect, select different layers and just see what happens with the effect, because it can bring you quite an interesting effect. But I'll show you on a different image because it will be easier to see on the black background. So how about we close this one and let me show you on this image. So purposely here I have the image very big because okay, and the action run, please remember to be patient, okay, for those actions because they're complicated, bigger actions, and that for example was a very big image, so it will take some time for the action to run. Be patient. So when you see the help box, you will click continue, and now you see what happened here. We have a lot of beautiful little sparkles, okay, like beautiful lights and little flies. They're just absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me of the worm tunnel that we used to go to. So you can see what happened here. They're much smaller. Why? Because the image is big, and you can see these beautiful sparkles all around her. Now, if I was to decrease the image in size, these sparkles would be bigger. So all depends what you want to do. Now have a look what we can do. So layer, we open layer, open the folder, and let's see now different effects. We can just go and check what happens. If I, for example, nothing happened here, deselect this one. Okay, you can see the sparkles became more red. Have a look. Gold, red. Do you see that? Okay, so what about this one? Again different sparkle, a little bit greener and cooler. So you can always remember that with these magic wands, it's just worth sometimes to go and click different folders to see different results. Okay, that's again very different result. So if you deselect this layer, you can see the speckles are gone and it's only blue effect left, which you might love, because sometimes you would want to create that sort of effect and then maybe run action another time for the speckles, and you will have all sorts of different effects. Okay, but that's quite beautiful. So if I now just close the folder, now just to remind you, just close the folder. If you want to take effect away, okay, please select the mask. Select the mask, click on the mask, and then with the black brush, okay, you can then take some effect away from the areas you don't want to have it, like so. Sorry, the software again running slow. Okay, so you can see I'm deleting effect from her dress. So you can see that. Again, if you want, you can run action one more time, but that's a long wait. So what you can do, if you remember what I was showing you before, right click, duplicate group, okay, and now you have two separate layers of action. So what you can do with this one, Control T, and then it will give you free transform, and you can change the way the sparkles go. You can also pull it for the different sort of effects. Try all sorts of things. It creates sort of feel of the wind. Okay, if you can see. Okay, so what we can now have a look at, let me just magnify, and you can see that the second layer that I was transforming, okay, made a different effects, and it goes in this way, and it's a little bit bigger because I stretched it, and it gives more natural way to the way the image looks. Of course, it's a little bit too much, alright, but I don't want to waste your time now and deleting some. I think you're understanding how it works. Remember always that you can decrease opacity of the whole folder here. Okay, now I'm working only on the top one that I gave the different effects, so you can do that like that. Okay, or with the black brush, just take effect away from the areas you want to. If you feel it's just a little bit too much somewhere, you can see, you can just delete it this way. Okay, you can also change, if you remember, we can change the color. So let's say we can change, we leave this one's gold, but the second one that we run, okay, somewhere, I think when we were changing, we had that beautiful, yeah, like that. You see what happened? So here, okay, let me magnify. Some of the sparkles now red, and some of the sparkles are now gold. Okay, which is quite beautiful. Okay, let me delete this image, and I will show you on another image what else we can do on a very different image. Okay, so I'll close this one. Okay, and let's see what we can do on this image. Okay, have a look. Let's just see if we run the silver. Okay, so the action run, click continue. You will read help at home, and you can see what happened. It put the sparkles all over the image. So let's just have a look what happened here. And we have the folder, and the image was not too big because I wanted sparkles to be bigger. Okay, remember, so if the image was bigger, the sparkles would be much smaller. Right, and I can also move them around like so. Okay, see, creates beautiful effects. And again, we can go and check what we want. See, if I deselect this area, okay, the color is changing. So I can just play with different areas to see what effect do I like, if I want to change something, okay, or not. Let me just delete that layer, okay, and show you another one. Let's say the action run. Okay, continue, and you can see it put beautiful purple, okay, all over her. Actually, I much prefer that than the silver. Effects are quite large. I actually like the silver one. Let me see what we can do here. So again, I'm going into that folder, and I'll just check different effects. Deselect. Oh, that one was interesting. So when I clicked, for example, on this one, okay, what it gave me, this beautiful splashes of color of purple. So that's another thing you can remember. Okay, so just watch the, I will move the layer and you will see. Do you see what's happening? These beautiful big pink blotches of color, because that can create absolutely beautiful different effect. Let's say if you were to play with a gold action instead of pink, you could have do exactly the same, right? Could have done exactly the same and have beautiful gold on her hair, which will give a different glow. Okay, now I'll put it back here, and again I'm back with the sparkles. And remember, we can decrease effect, okay, increase it by playing with opacity, and we can take effect away by using the black brush on the low opacity, and we can take effect where we want to take effect from. Okay, sorry, yeah, just remember what needs to be selected. The mask needs to be selected, then the brush. So if you want to decrease effect, okay, you just delete it with the black brush and leave only sparkles where you want them to be. Okay, let me delete that. And I will make the image much larger just to show a different effect for the sparkle. So if, let's say, okay, so I resized the image how it was actually originally, so the image is now quite large. And now I will run the action again, and I will run the silver action. And look at the difference between what the size can give you, the smaller size and bigger size. So it's just good to remember, because people do forget. A lot will depend how large is your file, if you want smaller sparkles or big or larger sparkles. Okay, so the action run, you click continue, and look at that. See, this is very different sort of sparkles. Okay, now it's a very small sparkles all over the place, right? Of course, you can, with the black brush, remember, you can delete from the areas. So let me put it on 100% so you can see what's actually happening. So you can delete it where you don't want the effect. Sorry, it takes time because the software runs slow and the image is quite big. Okay, so let's say I don't want it in particular areas, right? You can decrease the effect here, and you can also decrease the opacity of the brush that you're deleting. So some sparkles can have only, half of the sparkle. Just make sure that they're not all the same. Some sparkles brighter, some sparkles little duller, some bigger, some smaller. Remember, you can always duplicate the layer, stretch it. Okay, so remember that we can open the folder and try to deselect or select back different layers. Just you can also try and see on the different blending modes, like instead of the screen, which will be chosen automatically, this one is color dodge. Okay, so you can again decrease effect. Okay, but color dodge, you can see, looks quite different from screen. You can also try on overlay, especially remember if you have dark background for interesting things. But even with this background, let's say if you were to just use the effect in some areas and you wanted to use overlay, now it will apply, of course, to overall image, which probably look too much, but you can probably guess that if you were to have that sparkle, and I'm dropping opacity just maybe in her hair, right, and then take away all of the effect from other areas, let's just do that, you will see that with that particular mode, which was overlay, it created amazing effect on her hair. Okay, now remember, the screen mode is the one that will be chosen automatically, and you might want to then run action again to have the overall effect on the light screen mode. But you can see what's happening, like I'm deleting everything except her hair. And let's say maybe I want a couple of darker areas where the shadows are. I can leave them as well. I don't want to do all of it because the software runs very slow and I don't want to test your patience. But now look at her hair only. Now that's without effect, and that's with the sparkle effect. Okay, so ignore other areas and just look at the hair without and with. Okay, and I can put it back on again. Screen mode. And that's how it was originally. Okay, so on screen mode it will create that beautiful light sparkles. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time with our next tutorial. Bye bye.